AISES Council of Elders. It's an absolute honor to have them here today. Some of us might be missing some of our grandparents, aunties, and uncles, so this is exactly the people who you want to share time and space with. They'll tell you stories, their journeys, and also their AISES experiences when they once sat in the seats that you're sitting in today. At this time, I'd like to introduce our AISES Council of Elders, starting with Antonelle Benali Thompson, Navajo.
Dr. Brett R. Benali Thompson, White Earth Ojibwe.
Rose Darden, Ute.
Steve Darden, Navajo, Cheyenne, and Swedish.
Norbert Hill Jr., Oneida.
Phil Lane Jr., Yankton, Dakota, and Chickasaw.
Cecilia Lucero, Acoma Pueblo.
Dr. Artley M. Skinador, Oneida.
Faith Spotted Eagle. A Hontawan band of the Dakota, Nakota, Lakota Nation of South Dakota.
And finally, we have the AISES Council of Elders Emerita, Dr. Henrietta Mann, Southern Cheyenne.
And as I mentioned earlier, please take advantage of our wonderful elders who are here serving their time with us and sharing all of their knowledge. I have really enjoyed all of the personal experiences and conversations that I've had with these elders, and they've truly made me feel a part of the AISES family. So if you haven't met them personally, please take the time to introduce yourself. If you serve a similar connection with the same tribal affiliation, also feel free to let them know, because it's always special when you find people from your homelands outside of the lands and territories that you occupy. And enjoy the conference.
And finally, we would like to invite Dr. Artley Skinador to the stage.
I would like to invite the second chief of Muskogee Creek Nation, Del Beaver, to the stage to honor and thank him for his time and giving acknowledgement and awareness to the Indigenous presence at this time on this land. In introducing him, Del is a graduate of James High School just over the river. He received 2 degrees from Northeastern State University, including Masters in Operations Management. In 2015, he was elected to the Muskogee National Council as the Okmulgee District Representative, and he was elected the nation's second chief in 2019. Del serves on the Oklahoma City Area IHS Budget Formulation Committee and is the Eastern Oklahoma alternate rep on the first ever Secretary Tribal Advisory Committee for Interior Secretary Deb Holland. About 25 years ago, Del's father, Perry Beaver, who served as the Muskogee Principal Chief for 2 terms, and it was at that time that I had the honor to meet his family. So with that, please give him a big AISES warm welcome to Vice Principal Del Beaver.
Hello, good evening, everybody. It's Jay, Del Beaver Judge. I belong to the Apiagogi clan, and I am a member of the New Tulsa tribal clan. And so, on behalf of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I want to welcome you to the Muskogee Creek Nation Reservation. So, welcome to our reservation. And it's also, maybe a little known fact, I don't know if you know this or not, but where our headquarters is at in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. It's just about 30-minute drive south on Highway 75. That's where the reservation office is filmed. And so, how many here are reservation dog fans? Anybody reservation dog fans? All right, all right. You know, Sterling Harjo, he's a citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation. He's a good friend of ours, and so, well, I know they're filming right now too. And so they were just filming last week. They're all over. They're in Omogie last week. The IHS scene, you know, if you remember that I was in here in this hotel, and so they're filmed all over, and so maybe I'll try to text Sterling and see if he can come up here and visit y'all sometime this week, and maybe bring Bear or one of those guys. Cheese, he's a really good guy. Cheese, I really like Cheese. He's probably my favorite. But anyway. Now, I could talk about reservation dogs for a long time. But you know, about 25 years ago, around 98 or so, I went to my first AISES conference at NSU, Northeastern State University. And I was the president of the AISES chapter there. And so they flew me out to Colorado, and that was my first flight ever. My entire life was flying to Colorado, and man, I was scared of my mind, so I don't like heights, you know. And so, but it was a good trip, because when I think back, in my time with AISES, you know, all the friendships that I made and all the people that I met, it started me on my path to leadership. And so, as I look around this room and I see all these young faces and I see council people. I see governors. I see chiefs out here. I see presidents. Whatever you call your tribal leadership, I see that in this audience, and so it really encourages me, because you know, we're not going to be here forever. You know, nobody outlives death. You know, and so the mantle has been placed upon your shoulders to keep the work that we do moving forward, just as the mantle has been placed on my shoulders to keep the work that my father did, to keep the work that, you know, his dad did, and so on and so on. And so I want you to not to shy away from that responsibility, but embrace that responsibility. Embrace that responsibility. As leaders, that's what we do. We don't shy away from anything. But achieving those titles is just the beginning. That's the easy part, really, is achieving that title. Anybody can, you know, achieve those titles. But it's what's next after you achieve that title. You know, you got to be willing to work hard. There's nothing wrong with working hard. That's what my dad always told me. There's nothing wrong with working hard. You have to sacrifice at times. I came into office in 2020, and a little thing of COVID came and turned our lives upside down. And then a little thing called the McGirt decision came and turned the way we view our reservation. Totally view our mindset, totally view the way we do business. It has changed everything. And so, and then of course you got CARES funding and ARPA funding and everything else that was thrown upon those first 2.5 years, 2 years or so in office. And so, so you have to embrace those challenges, though. Don't shy away from any of those challenges, you know, because as leaders, if you're in that position, who else is going to do it? You know, you can't point fingers at anybody else. You point fingers at yourself about doing these things. And so, you know, and during those hard times, you have to always do the right thing. That may sound easy. I can stand up here and say that all day long, you got to do the right thing. But when it comes time to do the right thing, sometimes it's hard. All right? Sometimes you have people telling you to do the other thing or do the wrong thing. But always listen, though, to everybody. That's the first thing that I learned being in leadership. You have to listen to everybody. Start off with listening to the people that love you. Listen to the people that are in your corner. Okay? That's the first thing. That's the first people you have to listen to. Is start with the people that love you. Because when things go bad, when you're down in the dumps, guess who's going to be in your corner? It's the people that love you. Okay? So that's the first and foremost. Start with the people that love you. Listen to the people next to you. I sat next to Pearl and I sat next to Scotty. You're going to hear Scotty play his flute in a little bit. But every time I sit next to these two people, I hear stories. I hear about the old ways. You have to listen to these people. Okay? Scotty is full of stories, right, Scotty? You love them. How many times have we just sat and had cups of coffee and told stories, right? That's how we pass down information. As Muskogee people, we're not great at writing things down. We're not, we're just not. But how we tell our story is by listening and talking to each other. That's how we tell our story. So you listen to the people next to you, you listen to the people that came before you, you listen to the people that are coming after you, the young people. I listen to you, I hear you. What you're going through, what you have gone through to be here, to be at college, to be going through high school, through COVID and all those things, we have to listen to. We have to. We have to get your input. Artificial intelligence is coming on, chat, GPT or whatever it's called. Those things I have no idea about. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I barely do social media. But I know those things are prevalent and those things are going to change our world, right? But I tell you this though, a computer, no matter how intelligent, they can't decide what's morally right, right? You have to have your morals. You have to know what's right and wrong, okay? And most important part, not the most important, but very important, is that you have to listen to people that disagree with you, okay? You have to listen to people that disagree with you. If you're going to lead people, they're not always going to like you. They won't always be your friend, even though they say that they're your friend. And they definitely always won't agree with you. But being able to listen to someone means you are willing to learn. You have to be willing to learn. Learning doesn't stop after high school. Learning doesn't stop after college. I'm 47 years old, and I'm still learning every single day. I have to learn something. I have to learn something. If you want to be a leader, you have to be able to learn so you're capable of making better decisions. Because you're going to have to make decisions. You're going to have to make tough decisions. In 2020, we're making decisions that people's lives, literally people's lives, was based on these decisions. We had to make decisions at maybe 8:30 in the morning, and we had to switch and pivot by 2 o'clock that afternoon because information was coming in so quick. So you have to learn to listen. So if you want to be a leader, you have to be able to listen. And I believe that's why God gave us 1 mouth and 2 ears, right? You gotta be able to listen. He gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth. Be slow to talk. You gotta be able to listen. And believe me, you can learn a lot about a person by just listening to them. We have people come in our office every single, not quite every single day anymore, but every single week, throwing ideas at the nation. Hey, we want you to invest in this. Hey, it'd be nice if you guys gave us money for this, right? And so we'll listen to them. And after about an hour, we can decide right then and there if we're going to do business with them. Okay, so you got to be able to listen to them. And like I said earlier, the Muskogee Nation, we have been in some battles lately. It started right off the bat. The first thing we walked into when we got to office was gaming compacts. The governor of Oklahoma, Governor Stitt, he tried to tell the tribes that we needed to redo our gaming compacts, and we said no, we didn't. He said yes, we do. We said no, we didn't, and so we just sued each other. That's how you get things done nowadays. You just sue each other, right? So we just sue each other, and so that's what we did. We sued each other. And we won. The tribes won. And so, I think, for us at least, I think it's like 0-3 against us. Okay? And he's racking up the losses. He's the lawyer's greatest friend. You don't care if he loses, he can still sue somebody. Okay? And so, and believe me, hey, I've had lunch with him, I had dinner with him, I had coffee with him. And I listened to him. And so I know what he's about. Okay, I know what he's about. We've had the McGirt Supreme Court decision, July 9th, about 9:15, well, about 9:08 specifically. We were actually in this hotel, but 2 ballrooms over, that first ballroom. We were getting ready to speak to a group of individuals, and we got the word that we had won the McGirt decision. And so, like I said, everything around. And we're still divided because people don't realize what McGirt means. They don't understand what McGirt means. Okay, and so as soon as we won McGirt, the states started pushing back, just like they always do, right? Just like they always do. Once tribes get something, they want to cut it off. The states want to cut it off. Feds want to cut it off. They want to limit what it means. And so we've had to push and push and push and push on what it means. And if they don't like it, guess what? Sue us. Right? Sue us. It's not the first time we've been in a lawsuit, all right? And so with the McGirt decision came taxation issues. You know, that the state didn't like that. We said, we don't have to pay state income taxes anymore. They said, yes, you do. We said, no, we don't. So guess what? We're in a lawsuit. All right? You know, the Brackeen case in the Supreme Court, the equal case, very, very important for any country all across the nation. All right? So college students, parents, adults, it's very, very important that we have to listen and see what the Brackeen case says, okay? So every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, the Supreme Court passes their opinions. And so we've been on watch since they've heard that case. And hopefully it'll go our way. But we don't know yet. And so however, which way it goes, if we don't like the way it goes, guess what? We're going to sue somebody. All right? Okay? We got a whole stable of lawyers. All right, so we're going to sue somebody. But there are all these things, though. We listen to the other side. We listen to their arguments. Okay, that's how you make your argument even better. This is what their argument is. All right, let's listen to them. It's pretty simple. You listen to those that are smarter than us. We got a whole cabinet full of people with more degrees than a thermometer. And they're smarter than me, I guarantee you. So we listen to them. We listen to the experts. During the pandemic, I wasn't the expert. My wife, she works in the health field. She was a lot smarter than me about that stuff. She was a lot smarter than me in general, okay? But we had to listen to the experts. So listen to the ones you are fighting with. Listen to the ones you are fighting against. It's pretty simple. And it's not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. In my personal opinion, all that is junk, okay? It's junk. It's something that is used to divide us. We can't afford to be divided. We cannot afford to be divided. So I just see those things as just theatrics, in my opinion. It doesn't really mean anything to me, okay? It's not about conservative. It's not about liberal. It's not about being woke, whatever that means. I don't even know what that means, right? But whatever the opposite of woke is, I guess is asleep. I don't know. But either way, either too woke or too asleep. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. But those things are just ways to divide people. That's all it is. It's a way to divide people. And I'm sitting there thinking, looking at this whole landscape thing, well, where's the common sense at? Where's the common sense people, right? But all we have is the extremes on both sides, and they got the loudest bullhorn. And so, listen to them, though. Listen to them. Make your own decision. But just listen to them. No matter what, whatever you have to decide, it's about what's best for your people as a whole. It's not about what's best for your cousin, not about what's best for your uncle, for your best friend. It's not about who just voted for you. It's about what's best for your people as a whole, I know they only gave me 10 minutes, so I'm probably a little bit over, but I'll leave you with a little bit of advice my dad gave me when I was your age. I was exactly your age. I was a senior in college, and we had a project that we had to do a video interview with either a tribal leader or a tribal elder. And so my dad, he was the principal chief at that time. I said, hey, kill two birds with one stone. I just interviewed Dad, you know. And so I went home and I grabbed our VHS camcorder. Anybody know what a VHS camcorder is? Does anybody really? I mean, a few of us know what a VHS camcorder is. Does anybody know what a VCR is? Well, if you know what a VCR tape is, it's about this big, and so the camcorder is what you put the tape in, okay? And then once you put it in the camcorder, then you had to put it on your shoulder, all right? So you walked around like a newsman. right? And so this one, ours is a big tripod, all right? And so if it fell over and hit your foot, it'd break your foot, all right? And so I set up my tripod and I was interviewing my dad, and I asked him a series of questions and everything. And I said, Dad, what's the last piece of advice that you want to give my class? And without hesitation, he said, in order to be considered equal now, you have to be just a little bit better. That's what it was. Okay? And so that has stuck with me that was probably 97, 98, somewhere around there. All right? So that has stuck with me for a long time. And I have used that throughout my career. That I thought I had to be just a little bit better than the person next to me. I thought I had to be a little bit better than the person in front of me, the person behind me. And so, because the meaning has changed to me personally. But a while back, I eventually decided what it truly meant to me. And what it meant to me is that I had to become better than the perception of Native people that's out there. There's a perception of us. There is. And most of the time, when I was growing up, it wasn't a good perception. They thought we didn't have to work. I worked all my life. I started hauling hay when I was 12 years old. They thought we got everything for free. I've never got anything for free. Never. They thought we were lazy. I see people every single day working their tails off for our people. Every single day, I see that. I remember the first time I went to D.C. There was people in D.C. We were at the National Museum of American Indian. Not too long ago, right? That's probably within the last 12 years or so. There are people that has never met Native American. There are people there that came through there that didn't know we even existed. There is a perception out there. And so I made up my mind that I'm going to be better than that perception. Right then and there, I made up my mind. So that starts with nobody else except for me. I had to make that decision. I had to decide what I'm going to do with my life. I had to decide how I'm going to do it. I had to be a better person. I had to be a better son. I had to be a better father. I had to be a better husband. I had to be a better friend. All those things. All those things. So that included no more drinking. I drank for a long time. Last December had been 10 years since I took a sip of alcohol. 10 years. I don't gamble. I used to love gambling. I don't gamble. Unless you give me a free play. I'll gamble your money, but not mine. I don't smoke anymore. I had to decide how much of a better person do I want to be? What am I willing to sacrifice to be a better person? What are you willing to sacrifice to be a better person? What are you willing to sacrifice? But you're here today because you want to be a better person. You want to be a better leader. Embrace the time you have here at this conference. Embrace the opportunities that are going to open up to you at this conference. Doors are going to be open here. Believe me, they will. Don't be afraid to walk through that door. Don't be afraid to embrace that opportunities. Don't be afraid to be accountable. Don't be afraid to be responsible. Our ancestors paid way too much of a price for us to be afraid of those things. And most importantly, listen to one another. Talk with one another. Create those relationships with one another. We can't do this on our own. The world's too tough to do this on our own. We have to rely on each other. We have to love each other. We have to lift each other up. It's so easy to tear people down, but we have to lift each other up. Don't be jealous of one another. Encourage one another. Applaud one another. That's what we're here for. As Native people, that's what we have to do. Let's not get divided about this small stuff. As Native people, you look around this room, there's a lot of nations that are represented here today. Lift each other up, encourage one another, shake each other's hand, go have a cup of coffee, and listen to one another. But I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time. Have a great time at this conference and make a lot of friends.
Thank you so much to our second chief, Del Beaver, your words, your wisdom, your story, and for welcoming us to your beautiful homelands. We greatly appreciate you. Okay, can we give him one more round of applause, please, for allowing me to speak? At this time, we would like to acknowledge our sponsors for this AISES Leadership Summit. We are extremely honored and humbled by the generous support you have all provided to bring together over 300 students, professionals, and educators and friends to this location so that we can come together for our Leadership Summit for 2023.
And now at this time, we would like to present our Malachi sponsors. So starting with Amazon.
Boeing.
Chevron.
CrowdStrike.
Honeywell FM&T.
Microsoft.
NASA.
The National Security Agency.
USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service.
And if you're representing any of these amazing sponsors and you're here with your company, please stand up so we can acknowledge you, and one more round of applause for all of our amazing sponsors.
And finally, we would like to thank our travel scholarship sponsors, that is Sealaska, and USDA NRCS.
And if you represent either one of those organizations, please stand as well so we can honor you. And once again, thank you all for your generous support. We could not have done it without you. Let's give all of our sponsors one last AISES round of applause.
And now, we would like to invite Gary Burnett, AISES board member, or board chair, to the stage, please. So after more than 30 years of service, Gary retired from IBM in 2021, and he joined a newly formed company, Kyndryl. As the Chief Data Officer and Vice President of Enterprise Architecture, he is responsible for Kyndryl's data assets, including digitizing key management systems in partnership with Kyndryl's C-suite. While at IBM, Gary worked in software development, product management, marketing, and was a divisional CIO for sales and marketing. At Kyndryl, as with IBM, he co-chairs the Indigenous Peoples BRG and has supported development of professionals inside and outside of his company. Through mentoring and more, he currently serves on the tribal council of his tribe, the Jaru Naga Nottoway, and he is also in his second term on the AISES board of directors. He is a past recipient of the AISES Executive Board Excellence Award as well. So everyone, Gary Burnett.
It's always fun to hear that. See if they got it right, see if I got it right. So good evening. Is everybody excited about the next couple of days? So look, we're all STEM. We're all STEM folks here tonight. So for this little portion of the agenda, we're going to have some fun with numbers. And I need you to participate. I need you to be active and shout out your answers. And I'm going to start with the first one, so you kind of get an idea of maybe how this is going to go. So the number we're going to start with is 10. As in 10 years, from 2013 to 2023. So as I look out across the room, 10 years is a big chunk of some of your lives. Maybe less so for some of the rest of us. So here's the next number, 3,189. You might know what that is. A little bit of Jeopardy. I'll give you the answer.
Shout it out.
Shout it out. 3,189. Take a guess.
National Conference.
National Conference attendees. Okay, you're in the right ballpark. AISES members. AISES members in 2013, 3,189. So you're going to figure out the second part of the question is actually pretty easy. 6,800.
Current number.
The current number of AISES members. So from 3,189 to about 6,800. 8. Eat. Say that again? Okay, so this came from up front. It was quiet, it was a little timid, but it was right. And so what she said was 8, the number of employees or staff that AISES had in 2013, 8. Isn't that amazing to think? Now, again, the second part's a lot easier. 47.
Current staff.
Correct. So from 8 to 47, 10 years. Okay, so this is a little harder. 30. Kelly might know this one.
Chapters.
No, not chapters, good guess.
Sponsors.
Wow. Who said that? So the sponsor got it right. 30. That's how many sponsors we had in 2013. And by sponsors, I mean partners, people who gave AISES money. In general, I think we're talking about corporate sponsors. So today, 113. You already know about 113. So from 30 to 113. 2.8 million.
Budget.
Yeah, right. The AISES operating budget in 2013. 13 million. All right, yeah, from 2.8 to 13 million in 10 years, that's pretty incredible. Okay, now this one is kind of graduate level math. 878. See if anybody gets this one. 878. Nope, but close, in the right ballpark. Not chapters.
Meals.
Okay, that might be true, but that's not what I'm going for. No, it's not scholarships, but it's kind of in the right ballpark. So let me just tell you what this one is. And like I said, this is graduate level. So 878 is the average number of program dollars spent by AISES on behalf of those 3,189 members. 878, you take, whatever it was, 2.8 and divide by, divide by the number, which was 3189, and that's what you get. So, the number today, nearly 200, nearly $2,000 dollars per member spent in program dollars. And so when we talk about the dollars going from 2.8 to 13 million and then all that sort of stuff, really, or the staff going from 8 to 47, and everybody's like, ooh, that's a big jump. It is a big jump, but the result of that big jump is today we have over 40 AISES programs in place, funded and executing for the benefit of our students and our professionals, funded from over 75 separate grants, government grants, corporate grants, etc. That's an amazing amount of programming for the folks in this room and for the folks who aren't in this room that are part of that 6,800. So, the scope and the outreach of the organization has grown tremendously to the benefit of our tribal communities, our students, and our professionals. And what's been constant over those 10 years?
Sarah.
You guys are so good. I believe you. So the leadership provided to our AISES organization by Sarah Eckelhawk has been the constant through that 10-year period. Tomorrow, I think it's May 1st, right? Yeah. Tomorrow, May 1st, Sarah celebrates her 10-year anniversary as the president. Did she run away? So look, Sarah would be the first person to tell you she's not alone in this. She has a tremendous team of passionate and talented professionals driving this work. But as its leader, especially going from 8 to 47, she's been here and her fingerprints are all over what anyone would have to say is impressive growth in mission, value delivered, and touch. So I'm going to go on just a little bit longer, but as I do that, I do want to invite Sarah to the stage. Closest I'm ever going to get to a standing ovation. So Sarah would first define herself as a daughter, a mother, and friend. And she'd probably almost never lead with this attribute, but she's also our AISES president. She's an executive who would just as soon share the spotlight, and she isn't shy about saying that. She'd prefer to be nearly anywhere but on the stage, and yet I kind of brought her up here. And I know that part's true. Life goes by amazingly fast, and if you're still really young, like most of you are, you'll soon figure this out. In 10 years at AISES, it's gone super fast. And I know it might sound a little bit like a platitude, but as you listen to the numbers as we played our numbers game, I think you'd have to know we wouldn't be where we are without her leadership and example. We acknowledge it's been a lot of hard work from a lot of people, and it hasn't been easy. And it hasn't been easy. But Sarah often makes it look so. You come to these events, a national conference, a leadership conference, any one of these things, and stuff just happens. And you just sit here and you think about all of the work, or if you sit here and think about all the work that it takes to pull something like this off, it is amazing. And she's standing here behind me saying it's not me. And you're right, you don't do all this alone, but you're the leader. As an Echo Hawk, Sarah grew up with high expectations. It's not so much if you're a brunette. But if you're an Echo, it is. And her path wasn't still preordained. She had to work. As a young woman, she fell in love with horses and riding. This is something I didn't know. There was less love, however, for standard high school, and Sarah took an alternate school route. Later, she tried law school. And that really wasn't for her, so one less lawyer isn't going to hurt anybody. Sarah did and still does enjoy learning, though, and she earned degrees in political science, Native American studies, and nonprofit management, which helped bring her to where she is today. For years, she was an adjunct faculty member at Metro State University in Denver, and even taught a class, or co-taught a class, with her father, John Echohawk. For a time, Sarah thought she might follow an academic path, but instead of professor, she became vice president at First Nations Development Institute, helping set a high trajectory in fundraising and capacity that nonprofit organization still enjoys today. She set it all in motion. Now, they weren't really all that happy with AISES for bringing Sarah over. We, on the other hand, had different thoughts. There are leaders, and then there's Sarah. She has experience, vision, a quick mind, and most of all, she has heart. She knows that this work, like life, is all about relationships. Here's a quote. It isn't about me, it's about we. Sarah lives and works that way, and this philosophy requires us to believe in others after first believing in ourselves. Now, me personally, I met Sarah really early in my time with AISES, probably the first conference I went to, which I don't even remember. I think it was Denver. Anyway, and then as I was elected to the board a year or two later, I really got to know her and see her in action. Now, they read that little bio about me, so you know I've spent more years than a lot of you have been alive in the corporate world. And so in those worlds, you have the chance to see a lot of leaders. Some you'd rather you hadn't seen. I can tell you that. And I can tell you from my years working in those environments that there are very few leaders who can pull off passion and drive and execution and results-oriented management balanced with compassion, positive personal interaction, exceptional relationship focus, and organizational effectiveness. That's a really rare combination. One other point of her leadership that many of you don't have the chance to see, she reps you. She reps Indian country, our capabilities, uniquenesses, gifts, traditional knowledge to groups and corporations and government. She's a sought-after speaker and a panelist in all kinds of diversity discussions and the expert to speak to the Indigenous STEM experience. She reps you well. Indian country is in great hands with Sarah on the stage, whether or not she particularly likes it. So what is your gift, your responsibility? With the security and support to support those life questions, then it's possible to show others the way in finding their own answers with patience, maybe a little nagging, and with love and a little fun too. And after all, who better to lead an organization like AISES with those kinds of qualities? Through her example, Sarah has simply shown us, and this kind of stitches back to our 7 generational principles, that Sarah shows up simply what her extended family of leaders showed her, what her parents, John and Kathy, showed her. Hard work, service, and a drive for excellence. So, I'm almost done. Thank you, Sarah, for all that you've done for us, and thank you to the entire Echohawk family for sharing your daughter, your niece, your cousin, and your mother with us, a true gift to the AISES family. So, with that, let me bring up Sarah's family who are here with us tonight. Sarah's dad, John Echohawk. Her auntie, Lucille Echohawk. daughter, Sadie Vermillion. And son, Jules Vermillion. So at this moment, I'm going to step back and I'm going to turn the stage over to Sarah's dad, John.
Thank you, Gary. On behalf of the Echo Hawk family, we are very pleased to be here at this reception to participate with you all in recognizing the 10 years of great service to AISES by Sarah. She's an extraordinary woman. I'm really lucky to be her father and see her grow up and go on to do what she's done. She was someone who really kind of wanted to do what we do in the Echo Hawk family, which is all strive to do what we can for our family and our people. She saw me as a Native American attorney and representing our tribes and Native American organizations and individuals across the country in important Indian law cases. I think, as some of you know, I'm the executive director of the Native American Rights Fund, the National Indian Legal Defense Fund, headquartered in Boulder, Colorado, and we've been around 53 years, one of the oldest and largest Native American organizations in the country. And I've been privileged to serve as the executive director of that organization for the last 46 years. As Gary said, that's why Sarah decided to try law school. And she did well. She did well, but after a year, she said, "Dad, this is very interesting and everything, but I don't really like it. What I would like to do is go into nonprofit management for our Native American organizations, like you do. I'm a CEO of a nonprofit as well." And of course, as Gary said, she went on to get a master's degree in nonprofit management and go on to work for other nonprofit organizations along the way, and of course, eventually with AISES. And as Gary said, she's done a great job in that capacity. And like I said, the family, she's really honored to be here and support her. We've got a large Echo Hawk family, not just me, but many other family members are also involved in Native American nonprofits, regionally and nationally, and we just really appreciate the opportunity to assist our Native American people in all these things that we need assistance with. So we're just really proud of Sarah and what she's been able to do for the American Indian Science and Engineering Society. So with that, let me bring it back up.
I'm not going to make a big speech because I didn't write one because I had no idea this was happening. And thank you. And I'm not comfortable on the stage, but just thank you, whoever put this together. Thank you so much. Thank you to my family for traveling, and thank you. Okay. I'm going to try not to get emotional. I was thinking about this the other day. I actually, when I first was named as the the time was the CEO of AISES. I got hired in April of 2013. Dr. Mary Jo Anderkin is here. She was the chair that really made that happen and brought me on. And right before I transitioned, I actually came to a conference in Oklahoma at Hard Rock, just down the street, for Native American philanthropy. And one of the presentations was made by one of our AISES members, Kara Calvin Watts. And it was all about AISES, and that same day they had come out with the announcement that I was going to take this job. And so I was watching this presentation unfold, and I was like, oh no. Wow, AISES does a lot, and AISES is really impressive, and it's just ironic that 10 years later, we're in Tulsa again, and it's still here. So, yeah, it's been very special, and AISES, as we talk about, and I didn't understand what this meant when I came to AISES, but AISES is a family. And yeah, I get a lot of credit for being a leader, because that's where, something goes wrong, you also get the blame for that, but it is definitely a family, and it has been a combined effort of all of the members, of the board, of the staff, of the elders, of the students, of our partners. It is a monumental effort, and every single person that is involved with AISES does that each and every day, and if that didn't happen, it would not be here. So I just thank you for this, and yeah, glad you're here. Enjoy the summit. And my daughter did make it through law school.
Oh, you said, oh wait, they said stay? I missed that part of the script. Come on back. So you have to know, right? This was supposed to be a secret, and I think up until recently it was pretty well guarded. So they have a script, because that's what Catherine does. And we came yesterday to practice, and I was supposed to introduce the board, but I didn't think that was real. I thought I was just here to do the Sarah thing, but apparently I actually really was supposed to introduce the board. So I'm going to do that now. I don't have a script, so I'm doing it from memory. So I'm going to start with the board members who are here. Oh, look at that, a script. So I'm going to start with the board members that are here. So let me start on this end down here with Melvin. Melvin Monet Barajas, who is second year on the board? Yeah, I think so, yeah. So stand up and wave. Don't just sit there. Melvin is from Turtle Mountain. Sitting next to Melvin is one of our newest board members, Caitlin Morgan. Some of you may recognize Caitlin. Is a former student rep, I believe, from Cherokee Nation, and now on the board of directors. Sitting next to Caitlin is Mr. William Tyler, our vice chair. William serves as vice chair, and I should have said Melvin serves as treasurer. William is Mississippi from South Florida. Sitting next to him, Jonathan Clark. Stand up, Jonathan. Jonathan is San Carlo Apache, and I think in his second year on the board. And sitting next to him is our other brand new board member, Joshua John, Navajo Nation. And those board members who are not here, Dr. Grace Bulltail, she is Crow in 3 affiliated tribes. Brendan Kincaid, oh, he's in the back of the room, look at that.
I lost my script.
Brendan Kincaid, he's from right here in Oklahoma, Choctaw Nation. Dr. Tracy Morris is not here, Chickasaw, and Dr. Wendy Todd, whose tribal name for me is unpronounceable. She's from Alaska. Maybe Cody, you could help me with it. Hadas? Okay, see, I would have never got that. Hadas. So look, the board, where's Adrian? She's not on this? Where is Adrian? Oh, there she is. Dr. Adrian Lavender, the other Turtle Mountain. Thanks for telling me that. Did I miss that? And I think everybody knows this, but the board members are all volunteer, right? We all have other jobs. Some of us, Christina Halona, who's also not here and not realizing that I forgot to say her name, is also Navajo but not here. But look, like I was saying, board membership is volunteer, right? Everybody has a job. We've got doctors, we've got corporate folks, we've got people who run other nonprofits, we've got tech folks. We have a rocket scientist, the one that I forgot. And so look, as you see them, and as they're walking around, many of these folks have got years and years of experience in their fields as well as in AISES. Some of them even started when they were middle school students. So not quite elders yet, working in that direction every day, but a lot of experience. Hit them up and ask any questions. So a big thanks to the rest of the board.
Thank you, Gary and Sarah. Can you please give another round of applause? Sego se luego, yo de la diseño yonjats, ubeta acusaciono dano kahaga. My name is Peter Ty. I'm Mohawk from Akwesasne, Wolf Clan, and I'm the junior U.S. National Student Representative. I'm currently a second-year student studying biological engineering at Cornell University, and I'm a member of the McNair Scholars Program, for which I intend to pursue a PhD degree. And at this time, I'd like to invite Senior U.S. National Student Representative Michaela Mather to the stage. Michaela Mather is an enrolled member of the Tlingit Nation and descendant of the Tsimshian Nation. They grew up in the city of Tacoma, Washington, surrounded by trees which fueled their passion for the outdoors. Michaela's AISES involvement began as an undergraduate student in 2016, and they later served as the Region 5 student rep. In 2021, Michaela received a bachelor's degree in environmental geoscience from the University of North Dakota. With research work analyzing snow through emerging remote sensing technology, Michaela seeks a career in water resources.
Thank you, Peter, for the introduction. I have a lot of notes here. My apologies. My name is Michaela Mather. My pronouns are they, them. I am your U.S. Senior National Student Representative for this term. I'm Tlingit and Tsimshian from Southeast Alaska. My Alaska Native Corporation is Alaska. You're here a sponsor. Pretty great. I went to University of North Dakota though, so I picked up a little bit of like Ojibwe words just because going to college was a scary time, especially being an out-of-state student. I started in the spring of 2016. I didn't have that intro freshman welcome to the dorms, move in with everyone. I didn't have the family weekends of family coming to visit each year, so it was really difficult. And so I sought out my community and my family through AISES. And within my first semester of AISES, University of North Dakota hosted our Region 5 conference. Our chapter at the time was heavily medical students. We had Brooke Thompson, who was a Region 5 student representative, I believe. We had Emily Falcon, also Region 5 student rep at medical school. And so all of these people kind of really helped fuel my leadership experience that kind of made me who I am today. At the Region Conference, I was able to see how AISES changed and how, I suppose, my peers were able to lead in these spaces and host conferences. And it felt really important to see how they were. I was mostly in awe for my peers. And I kind of was motivated to create like a lifelong journey with AISES, I suppose. I attended the 2016 national conference in Minneapolis that year. One of my friends there was elected the national student representative. When I saw multiple of my friends up from my chapter, up on stage, from that point on, there was a little thought. It wasn't like hard set yet, but I was like, you know what? I want to be one of those people up on stage. I want to help build these spots, and I want to help give students and other Indigenous people the space that they need in either their workplace or within their colleges. And I was hoping that my leadership through AISES could do that. And so my leadership started small, or sort of small. So your chapters all have different executive officer positions. Mine had public relations. So I started off there. Over the years, I moved my way up the ladder of being the vice president, the president, president of some other organizations on campus as well. And so in 2019, I was elected the regional student representative, which was really great. It was the year before we went remote, and so it was a little easier than other student representatives had it. But within this regional student representative, I was really able to find my voice within AISES, within my own Indigenous identity. I was able to kind of be an advocate for other people that might not be able to have those voices. And so it's kind of within being a student leader, like you have your ear to the ground and trying to make sure that everyone's voices are heard, even if those voices don't match up with yours. If people have different opinions, it's great to be able to hear all sides of things and also advocate what other people are asking for. My term was up in 2020, being a regional representative. I re-ran, but unfortunately was not elected. And I feel like that rejection really helped me get in touch with how the world was going to be, I suppose. But it didn't stop me from rerunning again for other student leadership opportunities. And so in 2021, I was elected the U.S. Junior National Student Representative at our national conference that we had returning from the pandemic. And so a lot of this sounds like a great academic journey, sounds like a great leadership experience, but overall, like, as many of you have, especially during the pandemic, a lot of hardships. AISES supported me through a divorce. They supported me through all of the different changes through academia. AISES also stood by my side when I struggled throughout graduate school, ended up having to take some time off due to mental health and physical health. And so I just want to say that everyone's leadership journeys are going to be different. They're not going to be along the same path. It's not one route fits all. You might not have a student chapter at your university, but you can run for region student representative, which deadlines are May 15th. You can run for the national student representative. There's no clear-cut example. And if you're interested in learning more about the different leadership opportunities that AISES has, how to be a leader on our campus, how to be a leader in your workspace, even, me and the other student representatives are putting on a session tomorrow at 12:45 p.m. It is called the Student Leadership Opportunities. It is in room 2. And yeah, I'd like to thank you all for your time. I'm not done yet, though. And so I'd like to ask Peter to come up over here again. So we'll have Peter speak about their leadership experience as well. Peter Ty is a member of the St. Regis Mohawk tribe of the Akwesasne Indian Reservation bordering New York, Quebec, and Ontario. As a Coca-Cola scholar at Cornell University, he's majoring in biological engineering with other interests in sustainability and Indigenous studies. Peter is an active member of Cornell's Indigenous community, holding leadership positions with the Native American and Indigenous Student Organization, the Indigenous Studies Program, and the Gwego Native American Program House. Let's hear from Peter.
I'd like to take some time to talk about my leadership experiences with AISES. I signed up for an AISES membership during my sophomore year of high school. I didn't truly get involved with the organization until college, but I planned to attend the national conference last year in Phoenix, Arizona, about a week before the conference. I had called my mom and told her that I would be going to Phoenix just days before the conference, and it's safe to say that she was not happy about it. Following this past national conference in Palm Springs, California, I was voted as the U.S. Junior National Student Representative. It's been an amazing opportunity, and I think that leadership can be defined in various ways. A good leader knows when to be a good follower. Start your leadership journey by being an active and participatory follower. Go to the meetings, do the activities, and be involved, even when you're not the one who's leading. There are many levels of leadership. Sometimes the best leader gets no recognition, accolades, or headlines in the paper. Make sure your heart is in what you're doing and traveling the right path, with an open heart and a good mind. Then nothing else will matter. A leader must know how to handle failure, because failure is only redirection. I've done many things that I'm proud of, but nothing is as great of an accomplishment as finishing my freshman year of college. My freshman year of college was very difficult. I go to school at Cornell University, and I'm only 4 hours away from home on the Upper Western Mohawk Reservation. I got homesick, and I remember talking to fellow students, native students, about my homesickness. And someone told me, "Why are you homesick? You only live 4 hours away." But it's still hard. It's still hard going to an academically challenging university and being far from your community, and you really have to put yourself out there. The academics were challenging. I got a 39 out of 215 on my first exam at Cornell in general chemistry. That's an 18%. My classmates here with me know that first Gen Chem class is really difficult, and our professor, his father won a Nobel Prize and he grew up with all these chemists, and he's like, "Oh, the Niels Bohr model? I know him." I also got a 13% on my first computer science exam. I ended up passing these classes because I pulled off a huge academic comeback, and I'm so going for that degree. I still get the occasional poor exam score, even when I thought I knew the exam material, and I still have that one class every semester where I'm like, I really hope I pass this one. It's important to get back up when you fall down, and know when to ask for help. That makes a true leader. At this time, I'd like to invite student representatives Kimberly Blevins and Lizzie Lewalski to the stage.
Hello, my name is Lizzie Lewalski. I am a Wyandotte Nation. I am a citizen of the Wyandotte Nation and a descendant of the Cherokee Nation. And I'm your Region 7 student representative, and I am on for another year, so I haven't left yet. Last year I graduated, actually exactly a year ago today, I graduated from the University of Florida with a bachelor's degree in criminology. And tomorrow I begin my master's program at American Military University in intelligence.
Nama Ahesha Adisht. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kimberly Blevins. I'm an enrolled member of the Mandan Hidatsa Rikara Nation of the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation in North Dakota. I'm also a descendant of the Honkpapa Lakota. I am your current Region 5 representative. I was given my traditional name by my great-grandmother, Rose Prospeiskai, which is Sunlight Woman, and on my mother's side, which we are matronal, that I am named Sunlight Woman. I just wanted to share with you guys that I really love coming here because prior to leaving yesterday, I was having a crying fit as I had separation anxiety from my toddler. And so being here, coming to you guys where it's family and it's warm and it's a safe space, makes me feel good and makes me know that I'm growing for her and to benefit her. So thank you so much for that. I also wanted to take the opportunity to acknowledge, as great as it is to hear all the students who have had inspiring adventures in mainstream universities, I'd also like to acknowledge those that attended a tribal college along the way. My grandmother, my mom's mom started the tribal college movement, and so that always had a special place in my heart. And so I've attended tribal colleges along my education path. And so with that, I did my 2 associates, my bachelor's, and now I'm at a different tribal college. Well, I'm a graduate student working on my master's. And so my focus is environmental science, and I work with atmospheric chemistry. My goal is to look at tribal lands on my home reservation and be able to help impact it positively. And so I just wanted to give you guys a little anecdote because we are STEM, we are numbers. While I was a part of that tribal, growing up with the tribal education and a part of a freshman, we have ambassador positions in the American Indian Higher Education Consortium, which is the overall association for tribal colleges. And so I ran for an ambassador position, and with that, they said, well, if you're gonna do this, we need to show talent. And I said, talent? I said, I like to plant. Can I bring some soil with me and I can show them how to plant? Like, no, you can't do that. You can't fly to Albuquerque from North Dakota with some soil and plant. And they're like, do you sing? And I was like, not in public. And so I was like, it really racked my brain. I was like, I have no talent, you guys. I have no talent. And so what did I do? Being a STEM major my freshman year, I recited Pi in Hidatsa. So don't ask me to do it today because my data storage is like maxing out right now, so I can reboot. But I just wanted to share that with you guys that, even if you're coming from a tribal education and it's not this mainstream university, there is room, so much room for you to grow. And please, students, take these chances to visit with everybody, not just the elders or the region reps. Visit with everybody that you can and take these opportunities. This morning, I was a part of another AISES program, and I was sitting in a room. We all introduced ourselves, and everybody is a PhD candidate. And I was like, I'm only a graduate student at a tribal college, and I was so scared. And I was told, with something that I carry with me by an elder, when you step into these new spaces where you feel unsafe, you feel scared and timid, that's when you're growing. And so I really encourage you guys while you're here to step into that space and grow.
And we've met many of our reps, but some of our student reps are students and couldn't make it here today. And so I'd like to recognize them and let you know what region they're a part of. So Nina Brock is from Region 1, Emma Tilley from Region 4, and her brother Avery Tilley from Region 6, the Junior Canadian National Rep, Jason Pomfret, and the Senior Canadian National Rep, Haley Burrell. We also would like to talk about our leadership awards that we are having during this leadership summit. And so over the next 3 days, students will have the opportunity to win leadership awards at our closing ceremony. And these leadership awards are nominated by students for other students. So I'm sorry, professionals, but you cannot nominate somebody. You can tell them they're a great leader, but you can't nominate. These forms can be picked up at the registration desk, and they need to be turned in by Tuesday at lunch, either to one of your region reps that you've met or at the registration desk.
Okay, so now we would like to invite our keynote speaker, Matika Wilbur, to the stage. Is a storyteller, creator of Project 562, and co-host of the All My Relations podcast. Project 562 is a national documentary project dedicated to photographing contemporary Native America. For 10 years, Matika traveled Indian country to photograph members of more than 500 tribal nations. Her anticipated book, Project 562, Changing the Way We See Native America, was released not too long ago on April 25th. Please join me in welcoming Matika to the AISES Leadership Summit.
Hey! Jeez, I was gonna try to be really serious up here with all you scientists. Especially after the second chief got up here and he had that whole council of elders behind him. Did you see that? You were like that episode in Reservation Dogs with all the ancestors. That's real cheeky. Thank you for that. I want to say thank you to all the people that spoke before me tonight. Pearl, your song, that was beautiful. She just got up here and rocked the mic. Give it up for Pearl. and then all the echo hogs, hey! And then you're like, go ahead, Katika, go speak. Oh, I've just been running the Native American Rights Fund for 50 years. Go ahead, Matika, give a talk. Okay. Yeah. In Norbert Hill, the Fridays published like 1,000 books. Oh my God, give it up for Norbert. Kimberly, I feel real tall right now. Where are you? I'm growing. Scary. It's scary. Good evening, relatives. My name is Matika Wilbur. I'm from the Swinomish and Tulalip tribes. Matika Seatstat, Stahobs, Chat, Dwaltra Tulalip, Dwaltra Swinomish, Tigri Tsiayas, Nestralachat Tsiayas. Good evening, relatives. It's so good to be here with all of you. Say, good evening. Good evening. Good. I'm from the people of the Tide. We're Longhouse people. This is my family. When I recently got married, right after I had a baby. Like to keep it traditional, elder woman. Yeah, that's enough about that. Where I come from, we raise our hands in Thanksgiving. We say Tigri. Everybody try to put your hands up. Say Tigri. Ooh, you guys are good at that. Yeah, scientists. Okay, put your hands up like this. We're gonna do some science. Lock your elbows. Take a deep breath. Go like this really fast, really fast. Bring all the energy into your body. Lock your elbows. Take a deep breath. Feels good. Oh, you guys have been sitting a long time. Switch. Faster. Take a deep breath. I'm just gonna teach you guys yoga tonight. Keep going. Okay, bring your hands together like this. Feel your energy. Yeah, feel your energy. Make it bigger. Feels good, huh? Blast the people around you. Say Tigri. Ooh, that's beautiful, huh? That's beautiful. We have these traditional, profound ways of acknowledging the spirit in the room. And then we have people like Dr. Robin who can bridge the gap between the sciences and the traditional and remind us that there is a connection between our traditional teachings and what's going to happen in the future with the sciences. What a cool and profound thing. I always think about that when I think about my elders and my ancestors and the way we say thank you in my longhouse and the way we raise our hands in Thanksgiving, because we're sharing spirit with one another, right? We're acknowledging everybody from the doorway in to the doorway out, right? Those that came with you, your ancestors that are here with you, your unborn ancestors. We acknowledge them all at the same time when we raise our hands. So thank you. I want to raise my hands to each and every one of you and say thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so honored to get to talk in front of all you white hairs, Jay, I'm embarrassed. I'm going to apologize right now. Because I'm going to have to talk about Sneggern, You did invite an artist, So I'm going to talk to you a little about my work with Project 562. Project 562, when I started this project 10 years ago, it stands for the number of federally recognized tribes in the United States. Sean Peterson, Pulsius, made this logo for me, and it's within the traditional ways that we do things in Coast Salish territory. You notice in the center there's like a dot, and then there's the tribon and the crescent that goes on, and that symbol in our belief systems means that it goes on forever, So we added that when we started the project, which was good. I kind of covered my bases because now there's 574 tribes, right? And then, I didn't realize that I would also go visit state-recognized tribes and visit with urban Indian communities, and I would go across the border and go visit relatives in what is now known as Canada or what is now known as Mexico. I'll go out to Aotearoa. I'd even follow our enslaved relatives who were brought to Puerto Rico, so I would go all over the place too. And like tonight, I thought I would do this project in 3 years, and it took me 10. Just like tonight, you thought I was starting at 7, at 7:30, we're on Indian time. It's all right, we're sacred, Project was in pursuit of one goal, to change the way we see Native America. To uplift our collective consciousness, to acknowledge our humanity, to acknowledge our beauty, to acknowledge that we're not a monolith, that our people, you know, can be like the Echo Hawks, or you could be like my people, you know, that like sell fireworks, you know? We're all kinds of folks out here, you know? Thank you for fighting for that right so I can sell explosives.